get burned early. I guess they mean to say women can destroy you when you get your money. So let's check this out.
You think that it's best that guys get burned early? Because it seems like once guys get resources and get money, that it really becomes an issue.
Yeah,
and I'm not
I
sure if
think
they
early.
learned the lesson.
I was playing for keeps. Like this girl right now going after Shannon Sharp, she's playing for keeps. So it's like, and they have an incentive to do so. When you're broke and you're a nobody, like are they incentivized to go after you as hard? Probably not. Then maybe they'll embarrass you in the neighborhood. Oh yeah, weirdo, blah blah blah. That's cool. You can move and be fine. But when you got some money in your the young guys that like aren't red pill aware and get some money and status, they get cooked the worst. It's better for you to almost like be broke, make these mistakes as you're coming up, then get the money, understand women, and then you're in a much more you're in a much better position because then you can mitigate the risk, or you already know how to deal with certain women off of how they come at you. You're like, oh yeah, this girl's a thought, I gotta deal with her this way. Okay, this girl, I can maybe let her in a little bit, but like you get that wisdom from failing, and you gotta fail it. You almost gotta fail when you're broke because you kind of see how you see the real side of females. Like when you don't have all your stuff together, you don't have money like that yet. You really get to see like the dark side of hypergamy. And I think men need to be exposed to that to see how callous and how cold women can really be when they're not interested in you. Because I truly think like women are much more cold-blooded than men are, way more, especially when they're not interested. Their interest in men drop off precipitously, way faster. They're more likely to end relationships. They're more likely to break your heart without you even knowing about it because they broke up with you 6 months. They've already been plotting the breakup. So like with women, I think men need to experience that because this kind of insulates you from making those mistakes later on when it's going to cost you significantly more money.
Hey, right there, man, he's dropping bars. He's dropping bars, and it makes a lot of sense. When you get started, right, on your travels to become whatever it is you're trying to become. Some dudes, they set out to be players. Some dudes are going out there looking for their wife. Some dudes are just going out there to have multiple monogamous relationships. They'll just, they just jump from one relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, not really growing from it. But from whatever your mission is, when you first start and you really have no money, it's all game. It's all game, right? So you're learning how to talk to women. Now, some people would say, a lot of guys argue, like, well, when you tall, like, saying when you was out there, you was young, man, you 6 feet, blah, blah, blah. You was a cool kid. You was hanging out with the people. You was an athlete. Yeah, so what? But there were dudes out there hustling who were like 5'6", 5'7", 5'5", right? Getting way more women than me. Chicks I couldn't even touch. But as a broke dude, I could learn. I could see like, well, they're dealing with women that just basically want a trick like that. And it ain't like they're straight selling themselves, but there are women out there who will not deal with you if you're not paying a bill. If you're not buying them things like constantly, like if you're not taking them shopping, if you're not taking them on trips, if you're not paying for their electric bill or their phone bill, but back then we didn't have cell phones really. It was like the real phone bill. Like if you ain't, bringing groceries over for her kids and all that, there were women that only dealt with dudes to get the bread, right? So as a broke dude, they would never rock with me. Now, every now and then you might be able to catch them when they feeling good or whatever, because if they into you, they into you. And they know you ain't like, I wasn't even buying drinks. Like I'm at the bar, I'm the dude that she's like, you gonna buy me a drink? Like, nope. I wasn't even buying drinks, right? But I was still learning what's going on. So when you don't have, like Myron says, when you're broke, that's the time to really pay attention to see what's going on with female nature. Now, if you're a dude that comes from wealth, you come from a wealthy family, whatever, it might be a little more difficult because they know your people got money, right? So they might be coming at you, women might be coming at you just so they can ride in your dad's car, your mom's car, because they know you got access to it. Like they driving the S-Class, so, I'll go out with you. We can go to the movies. You going to pick me up in that S-Class? You going to pick me up in that M5? I was shocked at how many women were really into cars and new cars. They knew cars better than I did when I was younger. They knew BMWs. Like, they knew the difference between the 3, 5, and 7 Series. They knew what an M meant. You know what I'm saying? Like, they knew, they knew their Beamers. They knew what engine you had. I knew a girl once. I had an Audi Quattro Coupe. This was back in the 90s. I had an Audi Quattro Coupe. It was an inline 5. She knew that. She was like, oh, You know, someone was asking me like, "Hey, bro, is that a V6?" And I was sitting there like, and she's like, "No, it's an inline 5. Right, and it's manual, and below certain speed, she knew the speed where I could lock in the 4-wheel drive. In that car, you can lock in the 4-wheel drive. It was a 3-door. The car was amazing. You guys, if you're a car person and you don't know, look that up, man. The Audi Quattro Coupe. I had the Alpine White, man. It was amazing. Car was nasty. I was still in the Army when I had that. So it was women who knew that. She knew what that car could do, man. She knew everything, specs like a mug. So I was shocked. Like, man, there's women out here who know this. Damn, I don't even know that. Right? It just, women are into whatever it is they're into. But as a brokey, I knew they weren't coming at me for money. So, and I got to see that. And like what Myron was just saying, getting your heart broken. Yeah, man. By the time you realize your relationship is over, that relationship has been over with that woman. At least 5 months prior to you figuring out, sometimes a year before you figure it out. And you might figure it out because you see her out with some other dude, or one of your people come back and report to you like, yeah, your girl out here with so-and-so. The way she reacts to you, the way she, like doesn't really take your calls, she ain't never home. You call her, used to be when she was into you, always on the phone, always calling you. Now she ain't into you. It's like you call, leave a voicemail. Like back in the day, you had an answering machine, or you leave a message with her cousin or her mom or her dad or whatever. Can you have Tisha give me a call? Can you let her know? Have you been giving her my messages? Like, you sound like a fool, but you need to learn that when you broke. So when you finally get to the finish line and you got some bread, and you know what's going on, you can peep this kind of thing. You know what time it is. It just helps you to continue to move. And back in the day, I was running rotations. So I really learned a lot running rotations, because a lot of women were messing with me, but they had boyfriends. Some of them had husbands. It was crazy. And I never really asked. You just find out later, like, damn. And some of them were so slick with it, they kept it a secret. I mean, it's still a secret to this day, bro. Messing around back in 95, 96, 97. They was married back then, still married to the same dude today. And they might see me in the streets and be winking their eyes if I go home or something like that, or if they catch me somewhere else. I'm like, yo, is that Don Don? They run over to me and start winking their eyes at me and stuff like that. Like, oh, what's good, girl? Damn, Sherry, I ain't seen you in forever. You know what I mean? Who you with? Your husband? Oh, y'all still married? Come to find out that she was married to dude when she was smashing you. So this is what they're talking about. So I agree with them. Yeah, it's best that you learn early. It's way better to learn early than to learn later, right? So let's continue.